back in the cave kinda once again. I'm your host, Big Daddy. I got Lex with us. We got Coach
What
D
up?
back from
What's up?
Duval County. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. We love to hear from you. All right, we're gonna jump right in it, and I'm just gonna give the floor to Lex. It started off like, first of all, I want to say I was right. Let me say I was right. He threw the 2 picks that I promised twice. He
Mm.
threw four
Mm-hmm.
total.
Right.
So I had that right. He was adamant that wasn't going to happen. It happened in the first quarter.
It
I
did.
also had right. We had a personal message between us privately, and I said that it looked like in the first half they were overwhelmed by the playoffs and the physicality,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like they're going to adjust, and Lord knows they adjusted. If you haven't caught on
In
yet,
the
we're talking about
WP.
his boy, the prince that was promised, Lord Jesus. The floor
Here
is
he
yours,
is.
Lex. Go.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I greatly appreciate it. I come to you today
The chipperness.
as a herald for the Prince. I come to you today to signify that he has arrived. The Prince will be sitting upon the throne once Patrick Mahomes has decided to retire. Now, unfortunately, that will be a while, but now you will see
Right, 4 years apart.
a two-tiered it will be a two-tiered system in the AFC going forward with the Prince and the King. But if we're being honest today, gentlemen, I told you. See, I wanted to pick the Jaguars, but I'm consistent, right? I had to stay with my pick. The Chargers somehow made it in. I thought I wasn't going to care about this game. I thought this was going to be the worst game on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But how wrong was I? How dare I doubt Trevor Lawrence that he would create such a scintillating, such a sensational storyline that he has provided for us today? Because not only was he god awful in the first half, but he was so princely in the second half, leading the third greatest playoff comeback of all time. Oh yes, only true royalty could right the wrongs that he had so unfortunately had performed. But yea, verily, he came back. He put the team on his back, and they are now in the divisional round. Now, gentlemen, I had a feeling, as my man Andre 3000 said so many years ago, that something was going to happen. And to quote something that we said weeks ago when it came to Joe Burrow and to all these quarterbacks coming with their contracts. The price of the brick has gone up. This playoff game by itself has just garnered Trevor Lawrence more money, Joe Burrow more money, and shall we say, Lamar Jackson some more money, because I think it finally proves if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going anywhere. And the Jacksonville Jaguars got themselves a quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Here, the Prince has arrived. Now, he is still a Prince. He is not the king yet. So I do not believe that he will prevail against Patrick Mahomes. But honestly, I'm as Nick Wright would say, I'm in a W situation. If the Prince moves on, I'm sitting nice, but if Patrick Mahomes was on, I still get a W. So look, I'm in a good spot. It's a good day. It's a great day. I mean, honestly, that's all I got to say. You guys, I know you didn't fully believe. I know that you were skeptical, but it's okay because there's always got to be one that holds the faith, that believes, that
He didn't
holds
pick him.
and such was I. And such was I. I did not. But I'm also consistent because I said the Chargers would get to the Super Bowl. So I can't change my pick. However, I was proven right from day one. I said he would be the Prince. He became the second quarterback to have 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, Ben Roethlisberger did it. Old man, noodle armed Ben Roethlisberger threw 4 touchdowns. But this is not a Ben Roethlisberger shaming day. This is a praising of Trevor Lawrence. I appreciate you, sir, for making me so right. I give it back to my fellow gentlemen on the panel, this esteemed panel. I sit here in joyous victory.
Coach, bring us back to reality.
Look. I'm gonna give you your props. You called this preseason. You had faith in him on the fantasy side, which he was victorious, and in this playoff game, he showed up. I ain't crowning him yet. I ain't
Oh,
crowning him yet.
Go ahead, Denny
You
Green.
had you
Preach.
last year. You had an excuse, Urban Meyer. Okay. You got to have a season with no expectation because Urban Meyer. So you got basically a tryout season in the NFL. How many quarterbacks wish they can have a tryout season in the NFL? Let me get all my ducks. Let me get some interceptions. Let me hit that weight room. Let me get that training program. Let me get that
yeah,
nutrition. Let me get that
absolutely.
playbook with no expectations because my coach is out here hitting on bar girls. Zero. Zero. So he showed signs. Look, they beat Baltimore Ravens. I was ticked off. Okay. He's shown signs throughout the season.
Mm.
I agree with you. Look, you watch him, the whole Jaguar team was shaking like they had jitters. He had that shaking with the ball in his hand. Like first half, the team was scared. I'm not crowning him. Do some next year. When you comes to San Diego, let's not forget this is the same San Diego team we've been dogging every other week throughout the season. From their coach Brian Staley, the players support him. No, fire that man. Like, no, I don't care if the players support him.
He
I remember
shouldn't have been able
the
to get on
story
the
of
plane.
Shaq. Who's the coach when Shaq was in Orlando and said the coach shaking on the playboard trying to
Brian
figure
Hill.
out a play. This man went a whole half just dumbfounded. The second half, you didn't run. I think they had 23 total rushes. So how the heck you go in the second half not even trying to play conservative with this quarterback who's been on and off all season long? Did the Jacksonville Jaguars do something great? Yes. And I was in Duval County during this week, and maybe the Reckoning Sports Show rubbed off some luck on them. Yes.
It,
But am I gonna crown him Prince and say he coming for Mahomes? Talk to me next
the,
season this time.
the prince is here. The prince is here.
All right, here we go. I will bring levity because we got the worshiper on one side and the screamer on the other side. I'm gonna bring balance to this. While I do think Trevor Lawrence should be given some credit
A flower.
for for coming back down to earth and figuring things out in the second half, I believe who is not getting the credit that they deserve is Dougie P. Dougie
Absolutely.
P stayed
Yep.
calm.
Absolutely.
He didn't berate his young quarterback. His play calling was impeccable. He had the demeanor when they asked him at halftime what they needed to do. We just gonna chip away. We're gonna play. We've adjusted because they got the touchdown right before half. We figured it out. We're gonna. He is not being given enough credit for not panicking in the moment.
Okay.
So as much heat as you give Staley for blowing the lead, you have to give equal credit to Doug Peterson.
No.
And I think that's the thing that's being lost in this. I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is not talented, but we see what coaching means from his first year to his
Absolutely.
second year and how he's developed him and made him look more comfortable. And you just see the efficiency of this year versus last year. Because if this had happened last year, the game's over.
Oh yeah.
and Urban
Oh yeah,
Meyer's losing
absolutely.
his mind,
Urban Meyer
and
mad.
Trevor Lawrence is mentally into the tank. Like it's bad. But Dougie P has a way about him that's like, okay, we can overcome this. And I think that's what Jacksonville should be happy about. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't know how to put it in a position to be successful, it doesn't matter. Doug knows how to put the talent in position to be successful, and Jacksonville's future looks bright because he does have talent with Trevor Lawrence, but he knows how to use it. All right, this is
I
one I
mean,
called.
can
I
we
saw
can
this
we can
coming.
we also talk about this?
What's up?
Hold on, we gotta say one thing. One thing before we move on. We gotta say one thing. Dougie P was confident because Brandon Staley is terrible. That's why he was confident. He's like, we can chip away. I don't think you say we chipping away against Bill Belichick or Mike Tomlin or against anybody, any other respectable coach. He just knew, just stay around long enough. They gonna give it back. Don't worry. Like that
He been watching
so
film.
we give him praise, but we also need to give criticism where it's due.
No. If you Brandon Staley, you can't only score 3 points in the second half. You can't not control the clock in the second half. It's not that Herbert played bad, but you didn't put him in positions to complete this. And then as great
You
as they
also
were
got your second
defensively,
best wide receiver hurt.
well, that too. But defensively, once Dougie made adjustments, San Diego didn't adjust to the adjustments.
Coaching.
So again, it is what it is.
Mm-mm.
Brandon Staley, I don't know if he's gonna have a job. I don't. Like I don't know. You can't explain that. You really can't. Like you got a 27-point lead. You supposed to close that, or 24-point lead. You
The,
supposed to close that.
the records are different, obviously. But Staley made the same mistakes Nathaniel Hackett was making in Denver. He just got a better record at the end of the season. And that man got fired.
I think it's gonna come down to what the
Yeah,
locker room feels. So those exit interviews that they're having are gonna be important to whether Brandon Staley keeps his job. All right,
fair.
moving on. I told y'all that the Vikings was fraudulent. I know they had all them wins, but I told you that the Vikings was this year's version of the 2020 Pittsburgh Steelers. That was the conversation we had. Turned out to be true. I told you the Giants was going to go in there. People looked at me crazy. Giants went in there and got the dub. Brian Daboll is your coach of the year.
Coach
He
of the
was
year.
coach of the year before this, but I know coach has been reluctant to give it to Brian Daboll all year long, but Brian Daboll is the coach of the year. And you know why he's the coach of the year? Because Daniel Jones looks competent. For 4 years, Daniel Jones looked like he didn't belong in the NFL.
Amen.
Yep.
And Dayball made him look like, hey, he can play on this level. I'm not saying he great. I'm not even going to tell you that I would move along with him as the starter next year. But it's a conversation now. And before the season, it wasn't.
Look, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I was wrong. Dayball's coach of the year. You want a playoff game with Daniel Jones.
Hey, that's it.
Like we
That's it
need
right there.
we need regular season coach of the year, playoff coach of the year. You automatically win first round because you won a playoff game with Daniel Jones. Kirk Cousins did not do bad, but Kirk Cousins was who I called him. He a game manager to make some flashy plays sometimes. When your team needed you to win the game, you showed you a game manager. And that's all I see from Kirk. But, once every 4 weeks during the regular season, Kirk do some elite stuff. They be like, oh, he's the guy. He's the guy. Since he got that first, was it 4-year, $84 million, 100% guaranteed contract, I've been saying this man is overpaid. And that dancing in the jet stuff with the jerk, like, that's cool for Instagram and stuff like that. But you ain't winning playoff games.
Look, I can't even say anything else. Like Kirk Cousins didn't play bad. He didn't play. I mean, he didn't
He didn't
play
play bad. He
spectacular.
played
He
average.
right in the middle, right? But the problem is they continue to mismanage, and it's crazy you can say mismanage after the year he had, Justin Jefferson. I don't care if you got to throw that man 25 balls a game. Get the ball into Justin Jefferson's hands. He is electric. He is arguably a top 3 receiver up there with Devontae and Diggs. I mean, he's right there. And so the fact that he got 3 catches for what, 46 yards?
He
No,
ended
no,
he
no.
ended with 7. He
Absolutely
ended with
not.
7, but it was like 47 yards.
Yeah, but my whole thing was like, you mismanage your best asset. I don't that is that is a fireable offense in my opinion, because you could tell he was so frustrated. Now again, you did the same thing against the Packers. You are now Jair Alexander took that personally. He locked him up. Jair Alexander is a former All-Pro, so it's not like he's a scrub. But Justin Jefferson is at a different level. Justin Jefferson, I believe, beats All-Pro corners because he's an All-Pro wide receiver. He's a top 3 in the game. So treat him as such. And then, I'm sorry, but it's done for Dalvin Cook. It's over. It's done. Like, he's not who he used to be. That explosion, it ain't there. I don't know what happened to him, but if you ain't got a running game, Kirk Cousins can't exist because play action don't work, and Kirk Cousins lives in between the hash marks. If he can live in between the hash, Kirk Cousins will be fine. He can be just fine. But if you listen to the Cowboys game tonight, and Prime was on there talking with Peyton and Eli, and he was talking about, oh, they don't trust their passing game right now. Everything's between the hashes. That means you don't particularly trust your quarterback outside the numbers. And who is his favorite target? You would think it would be Justin Jefferson because of all the catches and yards. No, it was TJ Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
And where does TJ Hawkinson live? In between the hashes. So again, I think the Vikings, you said it, you called it early in the season, they fraudulent. Coach D, you called it early in the season, they fraudulent. But man, they not in a great spot because your defense is terrible. You got a Korean War veteran at one corner. You got a cast off at the other corner. Your linebackers are average to below average at best. Your other safety fought in the Spanish American War. And so now what you about to do? Your defense is old.
History major.
They're slow. And I just don't know what you got now. And this really was your chance. This was your year to do something. You had the second best record in the NFC, and you got beaten by Daniel Jones and Isaiah Hodgins and Darius Slayton, and I don't even know who the other wide receiver was. And their tight end is somebody that basically is playing on one eye right now because he injured his eye earlier in the season. So I don't know what you do now. I just don't know what you do.
I can't believe y'all making me do this. All right, here we go. Kirk Cousins is above average. Is he a franchise quarterback? No, but he's above average. I'm gonna tell you why and what he doesn't get enough credit for. No quarterback, none, in the National Football League stands and looks down the barrel of the gun and gets destroyed every week like Kirk Cousins does, because that offensive line is hot garbage. That offensive line is atrocious. And no quarterback in the league stands there and gets blown up to complete the passes he does make more than Kirk Cousins. You
Hooray.
talked about Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is probably not as fast as he was, but who expects him to be this far in his career? But it's hard to get a running game started when your offensive line can't move the high school defensive line off the line of scrimmage. Let's just call it what it is. So
I mean, hold on a second. Wait now. That offensive line ain't that much different than when he ran for 1,500 yards 2 years ago. It ain't that much different. And last year, he still went for 12. Yeah, all you
and
guys did, look,
my
the
point
offensive
is
line ain't
my
great, but it
point
ain't
is
trash.
this. My point is this. That offensive line is garbage. Let's talk about the fullback. What's my man name? Ham? Man.
Look,
You want to talk
I
about
can't
missed blocks?
pretend to.
Get
Yeah.
Ham, I don't know how he in the league. No disrespect to him. Excuse me. I'm getting choked up on the bad blocks I'm thinking about right now. Dude is terrible. He good and terrible. He good enough to get you blown up in the backfield. That's what he is. I think Dalvin Cook in a better situation will look totally different. Totally different. And I'm telling you right now, if they decide, oh, we're gonna move off Kirk Cousins, who they gonna go get? Who in the market is better? Please tell me.
No,
They don't
no,
have the draft capital to go get
No,
him.
you should
Like,
do the same thing. Do the same thing that the Cardinals kind of tried to do. Lose as much as possible and get a high draft pick. Next year's this coming quarterback class in 2024, that draft class got some talent. So just
but
lose.
that's
Just
if.
lose. I mean,
That's a if.
no, 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 no.
That that's that's a if.
When you talk about a business wise and making the playoffs, Kirk Cousins gonna get you in the playoffs. Let's be real.
yep.
Kirk Cousins has
Yes,
a
it is.
tail, just like you say. Kirk Cousins is the individual Dallas Cowboy because he gonna get you in. He gonna lose. The Cowboys might win tonight. The
So then if that's the case, y'all gotta stop disrespecting him like his name Baker Mayfield. Because y'all talk about him like he Baker. He's
oh,
not
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Baker.
whoa, whoa,
but
whoa.
I think he's
No, 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 no,
overpaid.
no, no.
That's been my whole like. All right, you
But you
want to
mad
hit
at him
average?
for getting
You hit
market money.
average.
Like
He
you
averaged.
mad at him for getting market money. When the market comes up, the next guy get paid. Kirk got
Yeah,
paid.
But no, no.
he
But
I ain't
averaged.
mad
Kirk
at him
Cousins
for getting
started
the
setting
bag.
the
Go get the
market, and he
bag.
shouldn't have been a market setter.
No,
I mean,
I agree with
look,
that,
he
but
an
it is
average
what it
quarterback.
is.
But an average quarterback gets you the playoffs. But an average quarterback ain't gonna win you a Super Bowl. That's all we saying. Now he didn't
But
ruin
it is.
three different
There's
teams
this
in the
guy named
same
Nick
year like
Foles.
Baker Mayfield did. But
Wait. You just gonna you ain't never heard of Nick Foles?
Yeah, he
hey,
showed up in the
hey,
playoffs. I'll take that. Give me a guy that's
hey,
bad in the
he
regular
No,
season.
no, no.
Show
See,
got me a
that's
Super Bowl. I don't
revisionist history. Nick Foles showed up in 2 games. He showed
yeah,
up in the
okay.
Minnesota
the
game
most important
and the
games.
Super Bowl. Because
Yeah,
that Atlanta
absolutely.
game, we still trying to figure out how they had 4 cracks at the end zone and couldn't get Julio the ball. We still
And
don't
pass
know how they
interference.
did it.
Somehow pass interference that wasn't called on Jalen Mills, but we're not talking about that.
Like,
We're not
let's
talking
be
about that.
real. So you can get there when the rest of the team is right. And that team, them linebackers, is guys. Patrick Peterson need to be sitting next to me right now.
No,
I
no,
love you,
no,
Pat. You're a Hall of Famer, but you need to be sitting next to
no.
me.
That's
And
facts.
Harrison Smith, whoo,
Spanish American
Harrison,
War. I promise you.
Harrison, man, no disrespect. I watched you make business decisions when Saquon hit the hole because you saw them thighs and you got nervous and you just dove at his
Concussion.
ankles. I ain't gonna blame you. His thighs as big as my head, like good, like Saquon different. But then I saw you get lost in the passing game too. Like just confused on who you was covering. Harrison, I ain't gonna say it's over, but we might need to revisit how we playing defense. You're not the guy you used to be. We got to attack it a little different. And again, Saquon make a lot of people make business decisions, so I get
Ooh,
it.
yeah.
Give the Giants credit for coming in and being prepared.
Yes.
Saquon played that game like, hey, this is my one shot to go get a ring. And I'm not saying they get one, but that's how he played the game. Congratulations to the Giants. Your gift is the Eagles. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. I'm going to go first on this one. I think San Francisco has a problem.
Mhm.
A
And
good problem.
it's the kind of problem you want to have. I
Yep.
think that Brock Purdy is the guy moving forward. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the tallest guy, but he has the ability and the knack to play quarterback. And
Yep.
that's what's the Trey Lance is going to beat him in every measurable ever. He going to jump higher, run faster, throw further, all of that. But I don't know if Trey Lance is built to play the position. He's an athlete. He's not a quarterback. Brock Purdy is a quarterback. I think the 49ers are in an amazing position because you can keep Trey Lance or you can move him and get some of them assets back and get another backup quarterback. The 49ers, this year is not over, and they're probably going to play Dallas. But man, I'm just saying their future looks bright now. Well, it was a question before of, well, do we keep Jimmy one more year? Do we have no.
Bye, Jimmy.
Brock Purdy didn't answer the questions. It,
Yeah.
he the guy. As Paul Heyman would say about Brock Lesnar, he's the next big thing. This is it's him. It's him.
I think my whole thing with this is that I believe Brock Purdy got it. Whatever it is, whatever however you quantify it, he has that. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're selling Trey Lance short. And here's the reason why. He's played 2.5 games in the NFL. 2.5 games. He played in a monsoon. He played 1.5 games last year and then got hurt. I mean, it's now look, I think you're right. Trey Lance beats Brock Purdy in every measurable that could ever be thought of. Physical. But I don't think we've truly seen what the mental side of Trey Lance could be. I just don't think we've seen it yet. And only because the same way that Coach D was talking about that rookie year when Trevor Lawrence got to play through it, make those mistakes, see what that felt like as a rookie quarterback, Trey Lance never had that. Now it might be too late because now you're going into your third year. You didn't play your first year. You didn't play your second year. Now you're going into your third year. And now you got competition, right? And what is the one thing that competition does to quarterbacks? It can make you uncomfortable. It
It's
makes you
either
feel like
gonna
the
make
team
you or
really ain't
break
got my
you.
back.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah,
make you or break you.
absolutely. And so, but then it can also have the detriment effect to Brock Purdy as well. He's like, I just did all this and y'all ain't got my back. Like, I took us as far as we've gone since Jimmy G took us to the Super Bowl. And what now so I feel like they're in a good spot, but at the same time, they need to be very careful because now you're balancing two egos. Because Brock Purdy got an ego. You got to have an ego to be in the game. You have
You
to.
gotta have an ego to be
And
a
then
quarterback.
Yeah.
absolutely. And then you got an ego because look, I'm him. That's what he's like. No, I'm him. I'm the first one since Young in Montana to do what I've done. And I'm really the first one since Big Ben to be a rookie quarterback and do something like this. I'm that guy. And Trey Lance is like, hey, I haven't even been able to show you. So look, I think they're in a decent spot because really they're gonna have two quarterbacks to trade. Because you got Jimmy G and one of these other quarterbacks is gonna have to get traded. Because Jimmy G can't stay on your team because then the quarterback that does start be like, I may never get my job back because John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan don't know how to go back to a quarterback. So again, good situation, maybe not the best, but the team stacked. They have more skill position weapons and their defense is just different. I mean, they're the best defense I've seen since the 02 Bucks, maybe. Just in the way. Oh no. The Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks in what 16? Was it 15?
13.
13.
13.
13. That
And
team,
then
their defense
don't
Legion of
forget
Boom, but
about
it's man.
don't be disrespectful. The 15 Denver Broncos defense is one of the nastiest defenses that have ever been
Oh yeah,
assembled.
there you go. That's why I was thinking 16-15. I knew it was one team was in there. It was
Yeah,
Broncos.
like
Yep.
when you got Talib on one side and Chris Harris on the other, and then that defensive end, you got Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware.
Marcus
Everybody
Ware.
else just find their spot.
Do your job. Look, 49ers are stacked. We kept saying the conversation all season long was like, can Jimmy G be that guy? Can Matt Ryan, as Big Daddy will say, Bernie, Weekend and Bernie's be that guy? Who can be that guy? And Purdy has stepped up. Another thing he's done, I think first since been 7 touchdowns, 7 games he's played. He's doing it. He, like you guys said, he has it. You don't see him nervous. We saw the nerves on Jacksonville. We did not see any nerves on Purdy yesterday. So I said they go in the season with both. You let them fight it out. Jimmy G gone. Jimmy G, you just got a broken spirit. We don't need you in the locker room. We don't need that spreading. So Jimmy G, I pray you find another home. maybe Belichick can revive you and keep you healthy. But it's over. I feel you go into the training camp, you decide early. But if Purdy, even if you lose the next round or if you go to the next and you lose, no matter what, you've solidified that you can handle this. And you
Agreed.
can always get better after your rookie year.
All right, I'm gonna say this and then we can move. He said that we haven't seen enough of Trey Lance, and to be fair, that's kind of true.
No, that's true.
I just want to throw, I want to throw a comp out there. Two of them actually. One, we saw Jimmy Garoppolo play 2.5 games, and everybody was ready to sign him and give him a new deal coming out of New
Mhm.
England. He played 2 games, and then he got hurt in the third one, and Jacoby Brissett
Right.
finished it. Everybody was like, Jimmy G, they got 2.5 games. Then we saw Mr. Love up in Green Bay play a game, and he struggled for 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden that rocket arm came to life, and he started throwing touchdowns, and they started coming back. It was like, wait a minute. I see why they drafted him. I say all that to say this. In the 2.5 games that Trey Lance has played, we seen him run, but we haven't seen any quarterbacking that has said, oh, Trey Lance moving forward is going to be that guy. Now, again, it's 2.5 games. It's not fair. I'm just saying that's the reality. There are other people where we have seen it, and with him, it's like, ooh, they've had to dumb down the offense. They got to make it single read or run. He looks like this is moving too fast for him. And I get it. He didn't play that much in college. He got the COVID year off, and then he comes and he has the city year. And then I get all of that's true. But what's also true is that Brock is so far ahead of him, it ain't funny.
Yeah,
And when
that's
you
fair.
play over 40 games in college,
Yeah. Yep.
you
Yep.
you just got it.
You just
So
go with it.
it's unfortunate what's happening to him. You don't wish it on anybody. I hope he gets another legitimate chance.
Yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
I just
Trade him to the
I just
Falcons.
think I just think with San Francisco and how much they gave up to get him, and now you can recoup some of that. And what they're trying to build moving forward, this is not a 1 or 2 year thing. We're trying to stretch this out. Frisco has that opportunity, and they
Yep.
got an
True.
opportunity next week because Dallas going to be traveling cross country, and
Hey,
that's going to be fun.
Look,
look,
we
ain't
talked
nobody
about
That's
believe
going
in
to
we
be
talked
fun.
about
Dallas.
the Seahawks getting stomped out. Look, I'm not saying Dallas is they better than the Seahawks, but man, I don't know how they about to contain Debo, Ayuk, CMC. Oh
Man.
Lord, ooh.
Dallas had made it to the second round. We know how this go. We know how this go.
No, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Dallas is the kind of team I call a front running team.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get up and get out, they play better, they play different. And if
Absolutely.
we're gonna be honest, he said that their defense is one of the best he's seen. During the regular season, it was. But what I saw last week,
Yeah.
Geno Smith early looked comfortable. Late, oh, that pass rush woke up.
Mhm.
But
Mm-hmm.
early, Geno looked comfortable and he found some people. Dallas has more talent than Seattle has.
That's true.
So if I know they're gonna try to take away CD Lamb, but Dallas been winning. You saw it the Tampa game. It's been tight ends. Hey, Schultz, come get this TD.
Yeah,
And
but
so we'll
yeah, but
see how that's going to work because I know the 49ers have better backers. I already understand. I already understand that. Like
okay,
I
yeah.
totally get that. But I'm just saying I wouldn't favor Dallas,
Not at
but
all.
I wouldn't consider it to be Frisco blowout either. Like we expected Frisco to dog Seattle, and eventually they did. They separated. I don't expect them to dog Dallas. Dallas is going to have opportunities. Will they execute is the
31-17.
question. You got it by 14?
31-17. It's not because I don't think Dallas is talented. I just don't think their defense can hold up against the barrage. There's nothing. And look, we see when the pressure is on, we see what happens to Dak. When look, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't. That defense, that gonna throw at least one pick. might be 2, and you give them extra possessions. Look, they gonna
No,
convert.
no, that's real. I just feel like one, we got film. We know what they bring. We can see where Seattle worked. What does Seattle do? What can we do? Where can we exploit it? I honestly feel like that game was going to be something in the range of 24-20. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. I think it's going to be nip tuck, and we'll see.
We'll see.
Look. Look. I have it as this, and this is just how I'm with you. Dallas is a front running team. Let them score first. They gonna get hype and they just gonna ride the wave. Dallas wins this, or they get blown out. That
That's
to me
fair.
is polarized. Like, cause Dallas only show up one or two ways. They gonna show up victorious, or it's gonna be it might be 20-0, 27, but they losing. They have to come out and know they have the victory from the get go.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right, I feel bad for Miami because if Tua would have played, I
Or
think
They
that's
Teddy.
a
would have won that game.
Or Teddy
They would have won
Bridgewater.
that game. Or Teddy.
like,
You right. Or Teddy.
like I'm not fit to stay on this long, but whew, going into it a week ago, we were like, Buffalo might be favored out the AFC. And after watching them yesterday, that's a third string quarterback, Waddle playing with one shoulder, and
Right. People don't talk about that. True.
um,
It was bad.
mm,
Look.
It
Miami
was
got
bad.
7 sacks.
whew,
7 sacks yesterday. Like,
Mm.
that's because no, but see, that ain't even necessarily all pass rush. Josh Allen is talented. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but he played hero ball.
No. He 3 of those
He
sacks was in a
he
bootleg.
will
He trying to
hold
bootleg out.
he he will hold the rock, trying to wait for something to develop or whatever. That's also why he turns the ball over because he'll play hero ball. Look, the best hero ball player in the league is Mahomes. So if y'all end up with Mahomes in the AFC Championship, that's just you saw what happened last year. Josh Allen play. I don't think Josh Allen can play better than he played last year
No, I
No.
don't
when they
think so
played.
either.
I don't
That
think he
was
can play
that
better.
was the best game ever.
And you saw what happened. Mahomes is like anything you can do, I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
I just that's what it is. So
Look, we saw this game in the regular season, and they lost, I think, but what was it, 2 in the regular season? It was a real
Mm,
2, maybe 3. It was a very, very close game. And we're like, wait, Miami went to Buffalo in the cold
mm-hmm,
and came
mm-hmm,
close? And
mm-hmm.
then you see this game
yeah.
yesterday. Like, my thing for Buffalo, and we've been nitpicking their weaknesses all year. Miami got to play them twice. So
Yeah.
if you do have 2 and you do
Three
have
times.
3 times.
Times.
Well, yeah, because the playoffs is the third
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing is, if you have Tua, if you have Teddy Bridgewater, I just see
Yes.
Miami winning this game.
Agreed.
Like I
Agreed.
like Buffalo hopes are shattered if the starting QB is in Miami. And Miami exposed every single one. We've been talking about offensive line they were getting to him. The running game was weak, which was been weak all season, but Miami made
Yep.
sure it didn't. Like Miami deep everyone else on Miami showed up and the third string quarterback gave you the best he could. Like,
Well, look, here go the thing, and I agree with you. Third string quarterback gave you the best he could, but we knew it was going to be a problem when your third string quarterback throwing the ball 50 times.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like they couldn't. They're not a great running team, and Mostert didn't play. So because last time they ran the ball really
Oh,
really well.
Yep.
They couldn't. So when you're asking third string guy, hey, throw the ball 50 plus times,
mm-hmm.
your chances of winning dissipate greatly.
Yep. And
All right.
but we're gonna say this and we're gonna move on because like I said, we ain't gonna talk about this long. I'm concerned, one, but two, I want you talking about hero ball. Let's put it into the proper context so the people at home and people watching and listening can understand. Josh Allen led the league in turnovers with 32, 32 picks and fumbles. He was in front of, look, I know I was talking about my boy Pat P and Harrison Smith, but I promise you, Matt Ryan is from the French and Indian War. He had 29 turnovers. And Justin Fields, who literally had to run for his health, his entire life was in danger the entire year. He had 23. And you have almost 10 more than Justin Fields, and you got more than Matt Ryan. And we know Matt Ryan this might have been his send off year, y'all. This might be it for Matt Ryan, but that's concerning. Concerning. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, it's real.
Well,
Look,
no,
look, Buffalo.
they
Get
had a
your Super Bowl
retirement
this
party
year.
for Matt Ryan at the end of the year. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they did. They did. They had to send off. He done. All right, look. I I don't want to get into this. I knew it was coming. I'm gonna be honest and fully transparent. I ain't even watch it. 'Cause I knew it was coming, and if I had watched it, it'd have got my blood pressure up. And when he fumbled at the end, I probably would have busted my TV. Like look, I'm a fan. Okay, when my
You're a
team
real one,
lose,
though. You're a real one.
it take prayer for me to not let it affect my mood stability. And then I get my wife come out and she said, "Oh God, they losing. Come on, I don't feel like I can be that guy. I'm better." But so I knew. I said I'm not gonna watch it. People calling me yesterday. You know, are you watching? It's close. You know, people. Oh, it's 17-17. I said they gonna mess it up. I knew. I knew. And when I saw the highlight, I almost threw my phone across the room. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Then again, they tease you. My level of pissed. I ain't even watched the game. Y'all feel what I feel? Man, the Hail Mary and Porsche,
Oof.
the ball right there. What he
All
doing?
you had to do was keep running. All you had to do was keep
Why?
moving.
What he doing? Why are we paying him? Why are we paying him? Hey, no. He needs to give his check back. He,
Look.
and Greg Roman, they say his contract is over. They better not
Oh,
extend it.
No.
they bet not.
They
They
better
bet
not
not.
extend it.
That man in a 16-bit world, and we got PlayStation
And
5s.
look,
Like, you
Bruh.
know.
crazy. As bad as Greg Roman was, we down to undrafted quarterbacks. We ain't got no wide receivers. That was our game to win.
Yep.
It was.
That was our so like I get J.K. Dobbins' frustration.
Yeah.
How
He
do I
better
only
be.
get the ball
He better
12
be.
times?
I'm the best player on
And
this
I'm
team.
glad he called it out. I'm glad he called it out. But with
Yes.
everything negative that I just said, we were right there. So you have
Yeah.
to evaluate. I'm glad they signed Roquan. I'm super happy about that because, like I said last week, signing
I'm not.
Roquan secures. Well, I know you're not. You wanted him in Philly, but
I
signing
did.
Roquan secures two positions: the middle linebacker
And
and the
Patrick
other
Queen.
backer. Because Patrick Queen with
He
him
looked like an
is a
all
different
pro.
one.
Patrick
Yeah,
Queen looked like an all pro.
yeah, it's different. I want Calais to come back, if not just for the leadership. I love Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell is my guy. He's not the player he used to be, but he can still ball. He gonna give me a block field goal a year. And
Mm-hmm.
I need Calais Campbell to come back.
Look.
I still
I,
feel like Lamar's played his last game. I do, and that hurts me. But if they franchise tag him, which they talking about doing, it's over.
It's over for him.
It's
He
over.
ain't gonna play.
look.
I'm
He not
if
gonna
I'm
sign
Lamar,
him.
I'm not ever playing for the Ravens again.
No,
He
no,
not gonna
look.
sign him.
This is the thing. You 35. I'm asking for 30 a year, guaranteed. And you gonna sign me 35. Like a franchise tag is 35 million. So when it comes to the game, bruh, Big Daddy, it's just like you said, and we've seen the Joe Flacco's miss field goals to tie games. We've seen the end of games, Mark Clayton drop balls. We've seen this through the Ravens' history. Where you're just right there. The Steelers have caused aneurysms because we were just right there. and something happens. And it was just like that. Run the ball. Run the ball. Like, right? How you in the
Run
red
the
zone
ball.
on run the ball?
And then, but okay, I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you. D, I'm gonna get right back to you. This is why you pay Lamar. Because you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to go reaching over and do, bruh. Yo, you have a running back that's what's JK 225? 220. He about to run into your back and push you into the end zone. We talk about Josh Allen trying to play hero ball. Nah, he trying to play hero ball. Trying to be like, I want us a playoff game. If Lamar gone, I could hold it down. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. You look. I'm not trying to say he didn't get value and effort. I'm not putting this, but I kind of am. If the Ravens go score that touchdown, I think that's a death blow
Yeah.
to the Bengals because the Bengals played a terrible game.
Yes.
Terrible. That was a terrible game. And then if you shift the momentum that way, then they run the ball and the game's over because the Bengals defense couldn't stop J.K. Dobbins even if they wanted to. Oh my!
Look. So I'm not going to
Y'all
even
know the
maybe even
Ravens are my
put.
second team,
I'm not
but
going to even
go
put it
ahead.
on Huntley. Who called the play? Was this an audible to rush, or was this John Harbaugh say QB rush like you forgot that Lamar wasn't in there?
You know what this was? Oh Jesus! Why y'all making me do this? This was Seattle at the goal line versus the Patriots.
Oh
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
remember, JK is the one who gets the ball down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And
Yeah.
it's
that's
like
the whole
Beast
point.
Mode is the one who gets the ball to the goal. Hand him the ball again. We
He
moving
was
on.
cutting them to pieces.
We moving on. Cincinnati going to the
Yeah,
next round. God bless you. All right. Help us, Holy Ghost. Kansas City versus the said Bengals. Who you got?
Kansas City.
I'm gonna let y'all go, and then I'm gonna go.
Kansas City. The Ravens just showed that you can't do anything. Kansas City, Pacheco, you don't need him to do great. The receivers is there. Mahomes is gonna do his thing. Cincinnati Bengals defense just ain't showing up. I got Kansas City all the way.
I
Lex.
got Kansas City too. Um, but I don't know if it's gonna be that same way. The nobody really talks about this, but quiet as kept, the Ravens got two really good corners, and Marlon Humphrey was snubbed for an All Pro. So I don't think the Chiefs corners are as good as the Ravens corners. So I'm gonna say Kansas City, but I think it's a lot closer. I think the Bengals come out because I don't think the Chiefs defense is as good as the Ravens. Actually, I know it to be true. The Ravens were number 3 this year in defense anyway. I'm gonna say Kansas City 31-28.
I'm going with the Bengals,
Woo!
and I'm gonna tell you why. Styles
Okay.
make
I'm not mad.
fights.
I'm not mad at it.
The Bengals and the Ravens are divisional opponents, and the Ravens are built to have to deal with the Bengals because they were embarrassed by what happened last year when we
Yeah.
had the U.S. Postal Service men playing corner
Yep.
for us, and he threw for 500 yards. That's etched in their brain, and they like that can't happen no more. Jamar Chase looked like Jerry Rice and Randy Moss combined, and they was like, no, we got to put a stop to that. So they're built to deal with that. The Chiefs, on the other hand, then had their problems with this receiving core and have lost to Joe Burrow 3 straight times.
True.
I
True.
you asking Isaiah Pacheco and McKinnon. I like McKinnon. McKinnon has come around late this season, but I just don't know how they're gonna look under this pressure. I expect it to be high scoring. I'm gonna go 34-31 Bengals. 34-31
Okay.
Bengals.
Look,
All
look,
right.
look.
I see your score. That's a nice score.
Look. I'm doing the spread. 30 plus Kansas City. Bengals 21 or below.
You think Kansas City got a defense that's gonna hold them to 3 tubs or below?
I think experience. I
Well,
think
I
this
don't know
becomes
about
a.
that one.
I think this becomes a gunslinging, and I trust Mahomes gunslinging more than Joe Burrow. Not saying it ain't. It's just the quick and the dead, and I'm just saying I think Mahomes is quicker.
Half the people watching the show ain't never heard of Quick and Dead, but I get that reference. I get that reference. You said experience though. You realize the Bengals went to the Super Bowl
Yeah,
last year,
yeah. They're
so
still a young
so
team.
it's
They're
experience,
still a young
it's
team.
experience on their side too. Like they've been there, done that. They are the defending AFC champions. Um, the other AFC game is we got the Bills, and man, I don't even know what to expect in that game. Lex, like I don't know which Bills team is going to show up.
Look, uh, unless Damar Hamlin show up with a great speech, this team, this Bills team looks fragile. It looks shocked. It looked like it took some hits, and I don't know. When you get in the playoffs, that's when all your flaws just shine bright. The same stuff we've been talking
Agreed.
about
Yeah.
all year long. Running game, offensive
But
line.
you think Jacksonville going to beat them
I
in
think
Buffalo?
Well,
this is my thing.
Because
well,
I think that's the big thing. Them
Jacksonville,
Florida boys going to come up to probably 25-degree temperatures.
but Jacksonville is riding the
I don't know, man.
momentum. Look what Jacksonville just did. Look what Jacksonville just did. If you just did what they just did, you think anybody scares you? You think
That's fair.
like, hey, we just came back in a second half. We didn't need a whole game. We came back in a half.
Okay, momentum is a very, very weird thing. So I just want
Hmm.
to point out something real quick. You remember the Minnesota Miracle?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
What happened the next week? What happened the next
Oh,
week?
they got absolutely dog
Well, we talking
walked.
about one play. We talking about one half. Not one play, a whole half
Look,
of excellence.
this is what I think.
Now the
This
first
is what I
half was a failure, but it's the second half of
that
excellence.
look, they scored. Hey, look, they scored 31 points and a half. That's hard to do. But here's what I got. Here's what I got. This is probably going to be my worst take of the year. But I think Jacksonville might win.
I'm picking Jacksonville.
And I don't think it's going to be the score people think. I think this might be a 17-14 game. Because the
Ooh.
one thing that Jacksonville has that
Ooh.
uh, Miami also has is a pass rush. Because you got Josh Allen on one side, and
Well, Josh Allen likes
look,
playing Josh
and
Allen.
they
Yeah,
had
That's
yeah.
Melvin
really what it
Ingram
is.
on one.
Josh
That
Allen gonna meet Josh Allen a
yeah,
couple times.
So
that's personal. Yeah.
look, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I don't know what's up with the Bills, man. I don't know. Like, it's not like the Jaguars have an amazing, spectacular defense. It's middle of the road. It's decent. It's okay. It's great. It's okay. But I don't know. Something's not right about this game. Something's going to go wrong, and I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think the Jaguars going to pull it out. I got 17-14.
If
If they
you
lose, I'm not surprised. But if
but
they
if
win, I'm calling it now.
but if you think about this, Jacksonville, as soon as you made the playoffs, all pressure went away. Then you came back like all pressure went away.
And Jacksonville
Josh
can run. That's
Josh
the other thing.
Allen has all the pressure. Remember, we said going into this season, this man wants to be MVP. This man's trying to show it's his team. This man's all the pressure is on him.
That's a fan perspective.
That's a real. You trying to
No,
win?
no, 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 no. No, no, no. Time out. If you in that Jacksonville locker room, Jacksonville don't feel like, oh, all the pressure not on us. Jacksonville like this our shot because we don't know how many more. I'm telling you right
Yeah.
now, Dougie P is in there like I won the Super Bowl in 1 year, and then the next year we went to the playoffs and we lost to the Saints. Like, and then we didn't get back no more. And I'm here coaching y'all because I got fired.
If
Like,
Alshon had just caught it.
Wait.
man,
Did he get fired because he was tweeting or doing something to the players, or saying he didn't like some players or something? It wasn't coaching ability.
no,
Like,
it was not. But it was losing. It was the quarterback situation and everything. But that's his point. How quickly we went from the darlings of the league to I don't have a job.
Yep.
Y'all have an opportunity right now to shock the world, beat Buffalo, and be in the AFC Championship. Like, so I get what you're saying. Like, oh, the pressure's not on. But when you're in the NFL, you don't know how many times you're gonna get here.
no, that's fair.
The pressure's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
on you when you're in the playoffs.
Hey, Dan Marino can speak to that very highly.
Man.
You don't know how many times.
You
You
hit
just
that.
don't.
So,
Like,
yeah.
you think, oh, like, okay, just think about Jacksonville real quick. The 2018 Jaguars, when that was a young team that
Yeah.
was less than a
They
quarter
had
away
some
from the
dogs.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, now that's
They
true.
never made the playoffs again.
That was true. That was true. But let's be real. Not you, not me, not ESPN, not Fox Sports believed in Blake Bortles. Let's be real. No one. We were just.
No. But
It
that's
was
the
like a
point.
Tebow game. We were just amazed each week. Wait, they won again?
But that's the point. They made it in spite of him thinking if we could have fixed that, we could have got back. They never got close to being back. The locker room fell apart.
Yeah.
They sent Jalen out. They cut Blake. Like, it fell apart quicker than it came together.
True.
That's the NFL.
Yeah.
With all that being
Yeah.
said, I'm taking Buffalo's 17-10.
we all
See,
agree it's low
low
scoring.
scoring. See, that's not, we look.
17-10.
But see, I think I haven't checked the weather, but look, if there's a snow game, if there's any type of inclement weather, Buffalo can't run the ball. We already know that. Unless it's Josh Allen running the ball, they can't run it. And the Jaguars can. And I think Dougie P going to do the same thing that he did to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I'm going to run the ball, and I'm going to keep it out of his hands. And I'm going to milk the clock just like the Ravens did to the Bengals, which they should have won. And like the Ravens do to everybody else, you frustrate them. And when they get the ball, they try and play hero ball and make mistakes. I think we got all
All right.
low scoring. I like this. I like this.
I'm gonna give you the weather, then we're gonna move on. It's snowing today. It's raining tomorrow. It's raining Wednesday. It's raining Thursday. It's snowing Friday. It's clear Saturday, and then they have snow on Sunday with a low of 28 and a high of 33. That's Buffalo weather.
What I say? Inclement weather.
That's Buffalo weather. Fumbles, ladies and gentlemen. Fumbles and turnovers is going to determine this game. All right, we talked about Dallas Frisco. Now we got to talk about Eagles and Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Lex.
This is what I got. This is what I got. This is what I got from you. You know, I'm an objective Eagles fan. You know, I call my team when we ain't doing so hot. I'm objective. I don't think this game gonna be necessarily close. But I'm not calling it a blowout, but I'm not saying it's gonna be close. I
I'm
define
calling it a
close as
blowout
less
right
than
now.
10 points. What? No.
I'm calling it a blowout.
It's not gonna be a
blowout
blowout.
right now.
No. Don't say that. Do not say that on these internet webs. Don't say that. No.
38-14
We gonna
Eagles.
respect the Giants today.
For what they did.
I gave
No.
you
For what they did this
No.
weekend.
Final score.
38-14.
No. The final score of this game is going to be 24 to 24-14. Not a blowout, but a significant win. I say it because of this, and I say I'm an objective Eagles fan because of this. I don't know Jalen's health. That's the only thing. An AC joint is painful, and I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. You know, you put a shot in it. Look, it hurt, and I know it affected him because we looked at the Giants, and the Giants were basically playing third stringers and people who might be able to play in JUCO. So we barely beat them. So I'm gonna say 24-14, solid game, but I'm not going crazy.
No, I'm messing with you.
Objective.
It's a division game. Division games are normally weird. It's third time y'all gonna have played each other. I do expect the Eagles to win, and I do expect them to pull away late, but I'm not going crazy with 38-14. I would say Eagles 31, Giants 17. 14-point spread. 31-17.
Okay.
I got
Bro,
Eagles 27-13. 27-13.
so we all got 14-point spreads.
Okay.
Look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Brian
all
Brian
declared the
Brian Daboll.
Saquon gonna get a touchdown in this game.
Congratulations. It's been a great ride.
because I honestly don't
If Brian
think
Daboll don't win this, honestly,
I don't think that the Eagles have to play perfect to beat the Giants. That's why I'm so comfortable. I think the Eagles can have a
Yeah.
mediocre day
Yeah.
and still beat the Giants. All right, so we covered all the games. Tom Brady just lost, and this is probably his worst playoff loss in a long time since he got dog walked by the Ravens back in New England in 2010
yeah.
when Ray Rice just went crazy on him. Yeah. Where does Tom Brady play next year? Does he play next year?
Yeah, he playing next year. Absolutely.
He plays. You just lost your wife. You just lost your wife. You giving this another 2-3 years. I say Raiders. I think when we talked off camera, and the Raiders, you got Josh McDaniels who runs your offense. You got a tight end in Waller. You got Devontae Adams, which gives you your best wide receiver since Randy Moss. Running game, I'm losing the running back name, but he decent and consistent. And then you got
He don't want to come back.
you tell him Don Brady coming. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be fine coming back.
After I saw this year, Tom Brady, I ain't got no faith in him.
All right, I'm gonna go next. This is my sleeper. This is where I think he's going. I think he stays in the NFC South. I think he goes to New Orleans.
Peyton coming back?
I don't even know, but I know this. They got nice young receivers.
True.
Mike Thomas can come back. We don't know what he's gonna look like, but you got a big possession receiver and Chris Olave and them running around. That defense is stellar, and it's the defense that gives him the most fits. So he would love to be on the offense and not have to worry about it. Then he hasn't had a weapon like Alvin Kamara, and James White was his version, but James White wasn't what Alvin is. So 8 indoor games, quality defense, easy division. I think it's at least a conversation. I'm going to be honest with you. The 49ers allegedly have turned him down twice, and having Brock Purdy, Brock's not better than him or going to be Tom Brady, but he's younger and cheaper.
Exactly.
So I think that they're like, no, thank you.
Look,
I understand the Raiders conversation. I get that. It may be more realistic because of the relationship with Josh. I can see him making them better, but I think the thing about that is that, okay, let's say he goes to the Raiders and wins 10 games. You still got Kansas City in that division.
Yeah.
You still got
You
the
still a
Chargers in
wild
that
card
division.
team.
And then you still got Denver trying to bounce back, coming off a last place schedule. So it's not that you wouldn't make the playoffs, but your road is more complicated. You go to New Orleans. New Orleans is going to have an easy schedule because they had a down year this year. You know the division already. It makes a lot of sense.
That's like 10
I don't know if that's what
automatically.
he's thinking, but
I mean,
Lex, what
it's
you
at
think?
least 6 wins in the division, at
No,
least.
that's 6, and we're gonna give Tom 4. Like
So, Okay, so I like your pick. I like that. I'm gonna throw another team out there. Okay, um, and for the same reasons you're saying the Saints, the Commanders. Here's why. You've got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. You've got, I don't know if Logan Thomas is coming back, but he fine. He whatever. They might go draft a wide receiver. Their defense is real. Their defense is, you got Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. They got a good defense. I think they were a top 8 defense this year. They were legit. And and I know you got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys, but Tom has shown outside of this this game, he's beaten the Cowboys 7 out of 11 times, with the exception of this game. And the Eagles, I know he lost the Eagles, but again, in the Super Bowl, but again, the Eagles, any given day, you can beat them. The Commanders might be a team he may want to look at, because that's going to be the best defense you're going to get outside the Saints. I think the Saints solid, but again, they're getting older in their defense. Cam Jordan's another year older. Not Jonathan Vilma. Demario Davis, another year older. Just watch out for the Commanders. Just pay attention.
My only issue with the Commanders is that he said he didn't want to go back to cold weather. That's what he said. I think the other part of it too is I watched him play this year. I watched him play in this playoff game. Remember I talked about how Kirk Cousins stands there and he know the hit coming and he takes it, he makes the throw. Mm-hmm. At 45 years old, Tom, he ain't doing that.
That offensive line up there ain't bad.
No, but my point is, he sees the rush now, and he's throwing and ducking, and so he's not completing passes. He's turning the ball over. I think him knowing that he's gun shy now, the offensive line is going to be the most important thing in this transition.
100%.
Who can protect me? When we talk about protection, that probably takes Vegas out of it.
Yeah, that's factual.
Vegas would have to show him that we made a trade, we got a deal, because he gets the ball off quick, but Vegas's line is below average. That's just call it what it is.
But look, we always talk about get the ball out quick. You know who else got the ball out quick? Ben Roethlisberger at the end. And he looked terrible.
Big Ben was slow.
No, but what I'm saying is but what I'm saying is this. Ben got the ball out quick because Ben's arm was done. It was done, right? But getting the ball out quick does not necessarily mean you have an efficient offense. See, that's what I'm saying. If you have a bad O-line and you get the ball out quick.
Let's be clear. It's two different things. Ben getting the ball out quick was them running screens because he couldn't push the ball downfield. When Ben went back on a 3 and 5 step drop, 7-step drop, his back foot never hitting the ball came out. That's not who he is. Brady is on the 3rd step. I want the ball out. He don't have the receivers in Tampa to do that because they don't get open that way. He go to New Orleans or he go to the Raiders. That they have that, and then you add in the screen game and all that. So I'll give you Big Ben got the ball out quick on screens, but then regular dropbacks, heck no. Big Ben body was beat up at the end because he held the ball too daggone long his whole career,
especially against the Ravens.
That's
fair. But I do think if I'm going to go through with the divorce, I'm definitely coming back and playing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get divorced and then be like, oh, I'm done. Unless there were other problems in the marriage that we don't know about, and that ain't none of my business, so I'm going to leave that alone. All right, so
hey, it's another man's business.
It looks like going into it, the AFC Championship for me is going to be, we got Buffalo versus Cincinnati on my end. Y'all got Kansas City versus
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, excuse me. And then the NFC Championship, everybody is saying San Fran versus the Eagles.
Yep.
We gonna see. We thank y'all for watching. Listen, Next week we come back. We're gonna talk more NBA because the trade thing, the moratorium just passed. If people just got signed this year, they are now available to be traded. The NBA trade deadline is February the 9th. So the league has about three weeks to figure out what they want these rosters to look like. Golden State need a
Gonna be a great
deal.
time.
The Lakers need a deal. The Suns got to make them like. We're gonna have fun digging into who needs to make a move and what's gonna be done. Some news just came out of Toronto. They got some
Everybody for sale.
disgruntled players, and everybody want to go. It's a lot going on, so we will jump back into the NBA next week. We thank you for watching. Appreciate you for hanging out. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.